Okay, what's up, YouTuber? Let's talk about phishing and smishing. I was about to write some code, you know, talking about a topic relating to software engineering. Uh, yeah, by the way, software engineering, it's not always about writing code. It's more than writing code. Today I'll be talking about phishing and smishing, um, which is one of the technique that the cyber criminal use to cause damage, if not steal information from the victim. Okay, let's look at this video. We can see a big smile from Jamie. Jamie, she's the girl in the middle. You can see her aura, it's kind of bright. Jamie happened to short a Bitcoin. Short a Bitcoin as Bitcoin is going down, and she made a lot of money. As soon as she made a lot of money, she's telling all her friends, "Hey, did you know that I short a Bitcoin? Now, I'm up 20% or 10%." She invites a friend for a drink. They have the party. She celebrates. They celebrate. They drink together. After partying with their friends, the following day at 3 p.m., 30 p.m., Jamie received this message. Dear zero dot 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 friend, join our Bitcoin analyst team and earn 500 to 1,000 a day. Join us by clicking here. Okay, so what do you think is happening now? Jamie didn't share the news to her family, nor did she share the news to any of her relatives except her colleagues. She shared the news to her immediate colleagues. Hey, I'm shorting a Bitcoin, I got 20% up. And then the morning or the day after Jamie received this text message. What's happening here? Jamie, she's under attack now. And if she click on the link, she may be subject to a lot of damage, up to installing a malicious software in her iPhone, or allowing the attacker to collect all cookies, all session, and all information if the attacker has this capability to collect almost everything from a phone. And this is where smishing comes into play. So what is smishing? Smishing, for me, this is my long definition. It is psychologically well-written text message with social engineering tactics intended to steal the victim's private information or to install a malicious software onto their device. The device, the victim device. So what's happening here? So what's happening here is that if Jamie hadn't shared any news, about her making a lot of money by showing Bitcoin or showing whatever she could with her immediate friends, probably she couldn't, she wouldn't receive this type of message. That's where smishing comes into play. It's a well-written text message with a link. It's usually, accompanied with a link. And if you click on that link, you may be subject to a lot of damage. You may lose your data. They may install a malicious software and so forth. So who's the attacker? In my experience, in my personal experience, the majority of attackers that smish you or try to phish you from email and message, after analyzing countless of phishing email, try to reverse them. I'll show you, by the way, in this video how to see who's trying to phish you or who's trying to smish you. I will not go further. I will just show you basic technique how to know who's behind, those attack. But in my experience, the attack is usually an individual with good attitude. Good attitude. They act as if they love you. They act as if they care about you. But they have a malicious intent. After collecting everything from your phone, installing a malicious code or software, and destroy your life. Yeah, you hear me well. The majority of attackers are white hat attacker. As you can see on the picture, you can see a scarred face. You know, yeah, he's wearing a white hat, but he's a scar. He's a red scar. He has bad intention with good attitude. Next, let's talk about phishing now. Phishing is similar to smishing. The difference is that the attacker, targets different channel. With phishing, it's a, as you know, it's a psychologically well written. By psychologically well written, I mean they write the message or they write the email in such a way that you don't have no option unless you have a critical thinking. You have no option than click to that link, that button, and clicking to that button or that link may cause you a lot of damage. Okay, so it's psychologically well written email with social engineering tactics intending to steal the victim private information or install a malicious software onto their device. Okay, I'll show you one of the phishing email I just received. I received this email on I think it was today. It was today, as you can see, Monday, July 4th, 2022 at 12:05 p.m. Central Time. I received this email and this is a phishing. So how can you know that the email, is not the correct email? It's a phishing. As you can see on this screen, you can see on the left side, it said that getAchocolate.com offer. Unfortunately, instead of receiving an email from the getAchocolate.com, I'm receiving an email from coilandview.com, which is a different DNS. We will reverse DNS so we can know who is actually behind this email. And that technique will be, just a basic technique. There is more than that to know who is sending you a phishing or a smishing. So what are we seeing here? So we're seeing that we're seeing the incongruency, it's really inconsistent. GetSkinnyChocolate.com coming from coilandview, coilandview domain name.com. And you have a click button here, choose my flavor, which means if I click on choose my flavor, there might be a script behind this link that can collect up to installing some malicious, code in my computer and start getting my keystroke. And we have another link here. Click here. If you would no longer like to receive this email, click here. And then it's well written. They say if you don't want this email, just click here. But I bet you if you click here, if you click on just trying to unsubscribe, you may also be the victim. So in any shape or form, clicking on such email may cause me. Okay, that's a phishing, but how can we know who's sending this email? Let's go on my terminal, and then I'll show you how to know who's behind this email address. Okay. First, we need to ping the person that sent me an email. If we ping that, or if we get the IP, and that's the IP, and we can reverse lookup. Let's look up that's IP. Paste the IP. Oh, we can find the server. Let's ns lookup. Okay, now we got the non-authoritative, which is kind of like the observer non-authoritative answer. So that's the IP. Copy the IP and let's go on the web. Now we can just Google find on the owner of the IP. Simple. DNSchecker.org. Okay. Now I can just paste the IP, and it's gonna find who's the owner of this IP. Surprise, surprise. Now I'll show you the most sophisticated phishing email that I've ever received, ever in my life. Let me show you the way they structure that. You'll be surprised. I don't know, I can't remember when I received this email, but I know for sure this was a phishing attack. And then the attacker did a lot of DD on me because at that particular time I was exactly working on something similar to this. But they at least they still fail. Look at this email. Dear user, first of all, they can't call me a user because I'm not just a user. Your order has been processed as online delivery. Transaction ID XYZ, and to kind of like to make the email more valid. They add the Norton, which is the antivirus products at the top. And the bill was 487.59. Why I didn't click on this email? First of all, I was not expecting any email from what is the company, from QuickBooks. Although I was working on QuickBooks in that particular time when this email comes in, but I was not expecting any email. And after hovering, if when I pass the mouse over terms and service, you can see all of the link in this email points to the same URL. And that was something automatically suspicious for me because not all the link has to be points to one thing. And yeah, this was a well designed phishing attack that I ever received, but unfortunately, or fortunately for me, it didn't work. This is the type of email you may receive when you're being attacked by phishing technique, or phishing, the way they call that in security, phishing vector, because it's a vector attack. Yeah, so that was the email. They trying to certify that with Norton. They said that I owe them money like a 487.59 cents. And it looks legitimate. It looks like it's a valid email that I can just click and pay. But I knew in my mind that I was not expecting any email from QuickBooks, because although I was working on QuickBooks in that particular time, I was not expecting any email on QuickBooks. Yeah, these are typical. I got a bunch of a lot of phishing. Usually when somebody send me a phishing attack, I don't just click on that. I'll analyze that. I'll analyze the URL. I'll analyze the domain name. I'll make sure I know the owner of the domain name. The majority of people that creates a company overseas, they register the domain name via their company, and then they create an attack. But as always, you know, keep trying, but you ain't getting me. Okay, let's conclude this video quickly. What is my last slide? Okay, how to avoid being the victim. How can you avoid being the victim of phishing or smishing? You need to keep your personal life private. Yeah, as you can see, I created bracket. Shut up if you can. Not to be impolite, but shut up. Keep your personal life private. That's the first thing you need to know, because you don't know who are you sharing your information with. As I say, the majority of people attack you with phishing and smishing with bad intention. Rarely an unknown blackhead, an unknown hacker living somewhere, and let's say in the case of Jamie that we saw in the beginning of this video, Jamie happened to be, let's say she's a receptionist. She keep her life close with few couple of friends, and all of a sudden someone living in France or someone living in whatever country you may name in your mind, yeah, we tag Jamie. I don't think so. So keep your private, your personal life private. Don't use your financial email on social media. I usually see some people, they have one email for their banking, one email for the social media, one email for, they do one email with a lot of, activities. Don't do that. So use one email from a specific purpose. That's one thing I do. Yeah, I have a lot of email. Yeah, you hear me well. I have a lot of email. So if one of my email is compromised, I don't even care. I know where am I using my email, why am I using that, with which purpose I'm using my email. The last point is log out, log out, log out after each web session. I know this sounds cliche, it's kind of like a common sense, everybody has to log out after the web session. But the majority of us, including me sometimes, we don't log out. We just close our browser, and then when we reopen our browser with a new tab, the other tab is still with a valid session, which means if the attacker attack you and then you click on the link, they may get your current session, they may dump your cookies, they may install a malicious software and so forth. That's some recommendation. Usually I'm supposed to be talking about something else today, but I thought, maybe it would be better for me to share my knowledge about. I know there are a lot of video online, how to avoid phishing and smishing, but